I think the one thing that pisses me off about beginners when it comes to trading more than anything is that they think trading is so hard and it's going to take them so much time to actually learn it that they're stuck in fear, so they never start at all. And that is annoying to me because I dropped out of college at 21 years old and became a multimillionaire at 25 years old. I started learning how to trade at 19 and became a multimillionaire at 25 years old, right? Had an extra 2 years in college and dropped out, and then it took me 4 years to become a multimillionaire. And if somebody were to tell you right now, okay, in the next 5 years, you will be a multimillionaire, a lot of you guys would actually stick with it. Whereas on the other hand, if somebody told you, okay, yeah, by 2030, you'll be a millionaire, a lot of y'all would be like disinterested and discouraged, as if like you need to be a millionaire by tomorrow. So in this video, we're gonna talk about what happened to me and why it took me 6 years from first opening a book about trading to actually hitting my first million to you guys out there and this whole discussion on time. And for those new to my channel, if you don't know who I am, my name is Swaggy C. I've been trading for over a decade, been educating for the last 5.5 years. All the mansions and private jets and the wife and kids that people fantasize about, I have. And my only purpose right now is to give you guys value so you guys can see that it is possible and you guys can achieve it too. And I think that people look at this time thing, which is why it has never been easier to become a millionaire now, but it's also never been harder. What I mean by harder is that back in the day in the 1970s and the 80s and the 90s, even 2000s, there was no social media, right? I know MySpace and Facebook came in the later part or the mid part of 2000s, but like for the most part, there was no social media. So nobody felt like they had to prove something to somebody. A lot of people are glued to their phone, so they're on social media and they're seeing their peers or people they look up to or people younger than them accomplishing things they want to actually accomplish. So it discourages them from actually even starting. And nobody had to deal with that, 20, 30, 40 years ago, which is why it makes it a lot harder. However, it's also easier because we have so many tools at our disposal. So for me, being 19 years old and opening up a book, I knew that I wanted to be rich because of my childhood and being homeless and moving from place to place with my dad and my brother. However, I also knew that I didn't care if I hit my first million by 31. I was going to be a millionaire, point blank, period. And a lot of you guys see that and want what people like, I guess, myself have without putting in the actual work, without actually looking in and locking in on trading. So let's take it back to beginners for a second. I started this video off by saying what pisses me off the most about beginners is that they think trading is so hard, so they never jump into it. Things gonna take so much time, so they never jump into it. But I was watching a video from Myron Golden the other day, and I was at the gym, had it in my headphones, and he was saying something along the lines of, if someone says they're not willing to pay for something or learn something, what they're basically saying is it's not valuable enough to them to actually go forward with it. Because I've seen a lot of you guys, you watch this video right now, take 2 to 3 years to learn a whole new language because it was important to you. I've learned a lot of you guys take 2 years to learn a particular, industry such as real estate because it was important to you. You guys take a couple months to learn the piano. There are things that you guys will actually do because it's important to you. But when it comes to something like this, you guys have all the excuses in the world. It's too hard. I don't know what I'm doing. I think I'm gonna suck at this, blah, 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 blah. It's gonna take too much time. Where again, it takes 9 months to have a baby. From the time you have sex to the time you give birth, it's about 9.5 months. And nobody looks at that as, okay, that's too much time. I mean, maybe girls do eventually, like they think it's too much time because it starts to get painful, but in reality, you guys know it's 9 months. And that is one of the reasons why a lot of people who come into this industry fail, because they look at this industry as something that can get them rich super, super fast. And then when it doesn't happen super, super fast, they quit and they drop out. And I want you guys to take something from my story where I was in a terrible situation, probably just like you guys watching right now. And I literally dedicated my entire life to learning this thing. Not that I was gonna do this for the rest of my life until I'm 99 years old, but I knew I wanted to do it right then, right there, right now, because as time goes on, I don't wanna be left behind. And the thought of being left behind should scare all of you guys. What I mean by left behind is AI is coming. When I mean it wasn't a thing back in 2014, obviously there was certain characteristics of AI and automation and stuff, but in terms of, Chat GPT, that wasn't a thing in 2014, right? All these different AI tools that you can use to help your business and help your own personal life, that wasn't a thing a decade ago. So when I mean by the thought of being left behind, a lot of you guys are working warehouse jobs and the whole Amazon union and things like that. And it's like, You guys are gonna be literally castrated very, very soon because AI is coming to take over in certain situations. It's also gonna take over for the better because you gotta look at it from the CEO's perspective. Okay, on one hand, even though like humanity means something, so I get it in terms of from a genuine connection. On one hand, you got human beings who, number one, will look at their boss as, oh, this person is rich, blah, 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 so, you know, screw him, and they look at that person with envy. Number two, they clock out, right, 9 to 5, rightfully so, but we're just talking about comparison. Rightfully so, you gotta obviously pay them, they want promotions, they want raises, all of these things where it's like, again, from a human perspective, that makes sense. But then you look at the robots where you don't gotta pay them, they don't work a 9 to 5, they work 24 hours, they're not envious at their boss. Of course, people are gonna, you know, go the AI route when it comes to jobs like warehouses. And when you guys are working jobs that you can get left behind, it's nobody's fault but yourself. And I can talk from personal experience because my mother worked a job that was basically quote unquote being left behind, and then she got laid off in 2020. And I was like, all right, you know what, Mom? You don't gotta work again in your life. Like, I'm making good money right now. I'm not a millionaire yet, but I am somebody who's making, you know, 6 figures. And then another month later, I'll hit my first million. 2 months later, oh, 2 million, 3 million, 4, and it kept going up and up and up. But my mom worked a job that was easily being left behind, and she didn't know what to do if her son wasn't there, right? So the thought of being left behind should scare you guys. So the fact that you guys are just, there's a skill that's looming around, such as trading, and you guys are looking at it from the perspective of, yeah, maybe I'll learn it one day, maybe I won't, but I'm hesitating. You guys are gonna be too late when it's time. Because for me, the reason why I'm saying left behind is I didn't wanna get to a point to where it was 2020 and I didn't give my all in trading, and I looked at my younger self and just looked at, you know, from the perspective of I didn't do enough, right? I didn't wanna look back at myself and just regret it that I didn't do enough, didn't study enough, didn't try hard enough. And I'd rather just flat out after a decade not be good at something like trading versus starting and then stopping and then a few years later regret that I didn't keep going. And a lot of people start in this industry, or you'll watch one of my videos, maybe watch 2, maybe 3, even 5, binge for a whole weekend, and then don't continue on because, oh, I feel like it may be difficult. And it's like, there's a lot of things in life that are difficult, and you guys choose what should be difficult. And the reality is you guys looking at it backwards. What's more difficult, learning something new or being broke? That's just the reality. Which one is more difficult? Which one causes you more pain on a day-to-day basis? Which one affects your entire life, right? So for me, going from being this 19-year-old who was starting their journey to 25 years old and making multi-millions, what happened in those 6 years? Those 6 years, of course, there were a lot of distractions, and there were times where I stopped to, you know, focus on reality TV or battle rapping or funny skits or just college basketball in general. But if I just focused on this one thing, I would have been more successful a whole lot faster. And that's why I'm trying to shorten you guys' learning curve so you guys can do what I wasn't able to do. It took me that long. It doesn't have to take you guys that long. As long as you guys absolutely just lock in and focus on the task at hand. You have a skill that it may take you 6 months, it may take you 6 years, but when you learn it, nobody ever can take it away from you, right? It's in your brain. It's trading. Like, once you learn it, nobody can ever take it away from you. That's the thing that you guys are not grasping, that I don't like. This is a job that it could be another pandemic tomorrow, does not affect me, but it'll affect you because you can't trade at the comfort of your own home. There could be another quarantine, you got to social distance and wear a mask again. We can go through that whole process again. Guess what? I still can sit at home and just trade on the couch, where a lot of people were stressed during that time. And it's like, at some point you gotta take accountability, where it's like, okay, I have something that I can learn. I'm gonna try into this new industry, get away from all these other people, have an open mind, and try something new. Again, it doesn't have to be my industry. It could be stocks, it could be crypto, but just try something to where you can do it from the comfort of your own home. And for me, if somebody were to tell you it would take you 5 years to be successful, some of you would take that, some of you would not. But that is why trading is so difficult, because there's no guarantee that you will ever become successful. Whereas for the most part in the NBA, if you are a superstar, again, there's no guarantee, but like if you are Jason Tatum, you know, people know, or even Joker, right, Nikola Jokic, people know you're gonna win a ring eventually, right? And then Jokic won a ring eventually, and then Jason Tatum won a ring eventually, right? Because you're a great player, right? Not all great players win, like Charles Barkley, like, right? Not every great player wins, but for the most part, a lot of great players do win. And that's the most difficult part about trading, is there's no guarantee. But if that's the case, you guys should still look at it from the perspective of, no matter what, I'm still going to learn, because what is the rush for, right? Because if you put your all into something and you take 2, 3, 4, 5 years to actually learn it, you can be great at it. Now, I said this before and I'll say it again before I end the video, you can learn trading quickly. It literally can take you 5 months to learn trading and become profitable. Is that realistic? Maybe not. But if you had the world's greatest teacher teaching you, there's a big chance that you can be successful a lot faster than that teacher was. And I want you guys to know that do not be scared about jumping into something new. Be more scared about what your life will be if you don't jump into something new. That's all I gotta say. I appreciate you guys for watching the video. If you guys want some free material, click the link below. We're trying to help as many people as we possibly can to become successful and rich, whatever it means for them. Some of you guys may want just an extra 3K a month. Some of you guys want to make 6 figures and 7 figures beyond. Whatever it may be, click the link below. We'll send you over some free material that we think or we know will actually benefit you guys tremendously. And I'll see you guys in the next video.